Let me tell you something. If ever you come across little cans of tomato sauce when they're on sale, they are a deal, a deal, a deal. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on my channel, the Save Money More with Jan channel. How you doing today? Thank you so much for being here. I want to talk about the three different meals that I got out of the couple of cans of those sauces that I got at a fraction of the cost. Number one, it is so much cheaper to make your own marinara sauce if you get one of those little cans, for example. So let's say that I took two of those 8-ounce cans, okay? Three different meals, okay? Or if you happen to get like the larger next size can of tomato sauce, okay? You get at a great deal. It is still much cheaper than the jar sauce. You know, some jarred sauces are like $7. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not saying they're not delicious. I never said that, but you could make your own to your own taste and to your own likings. Let's talk about the three different meals, okay? So I took one small can of tomato sauce and I turned it into marinara sauce on the cheap. All I did was take a saucepan. It's a very easy thing to do for a quick sauce, okay? So all I did was put a couple of, well, actually one turn of the pan of some oil, a little bit of olive oil if you have it, or whatever oil you have. Okay, this is important, especially when you're getting down towards a bare bones time of the month. And you could either shake a little bit of garlic powder, or if you want one little clove of real garlic, not too long, let it cook a minute or two, smell it, get rid of it fast. You don't want burnt garlic, okay? You do not want burnt garlic. All right, then I take my 8 ounce of my tomato sauce, I put it in that. I let it slowly simmer. At that point, I personally like to add some what you call it, some oregano, some basil. To me, they have a little bit of a pizza taste when they're put together, but I like it. And or if you have Italian seasoning, which covers the whole gamut, and you might decide maybe a pinch of salt, maybe a pinch of garlic salt or garlic powder in case you just love that little bit of garlic going on, right? All right, then you just watch it. You don't make phone calls. You you watch it. You give it a little bit of a stir occasionally, and then you let it simmer for a little bit. Shut it off. Right off the bat, boom, done. Your marinara sauce is done. Let's say you paid 50 cents for that can of sauce. 50 cents is a heck of a lot cheaper than $5 or $6. I'm just saying. It's so easy. It tastes fresher too because you're making it right then and there. So I personally like to put that kind of sauce, let's say, over my favorite type of spaghetti. I don't care for original size spaghetti. I like thinner versions of spaghetti, for example, like vermicelli. All right. Yum. So you put it on top, you sprinkle some Parmesan cheese if you wish. Yum. There you go. Delish. That's meal number one. I could get another meal out of it. So if I have two of those 8-ounce cans, I'll take a half of the can, reserve it. I'll open up the second 8-ounce can, and I'll take a couple of tablespoons, rather, put that to the side. Just keep it in the can. What I'll do is I'll get what I call, let's say, leftover hard bread pizza. Yeah. Let's say that there's some leftover Italian bread from a previous meal. I don't throw that out. God forbid, I wouldn't do that. What I'll do is save it, cut it into slices, and save it in the freezer. Take it down, and I will use that. If you have leftover garlic bread, it's perfect for that. Then what I'll do is make my own pizza using a couple of those tablespoons of sauce on each little slice of pizza, if you will. You could even use English muffins to do the same trick. You know, what's interesting, what a lot of people don't notice is that when you make pizza, pizza really does not require a ton of tomato sauce on it. You don't drench tomato sauce over pizza like the way people would do over pasta. You see where I'm going with that? So all you need is very, very little. But you're saying, but Jan, how can you use 4 ounces to make yet another meal? But I do. I like to make either tomato rice or tomato couscous soup. What? All you need is chicken bouillon, a little bit of water. Everything I'm saying would serve two people, just to mention, okay? All right. Um, what you would call it. So then what I would do is, let's say, boil up some water with chicken bouillon. Or if you have beef bouillon, I use chicken. I like that best. Okay, so I'm working with that, and then I take the remainder of that tomato sauce in the little can, a half a can of the tiny can of tomato sauce. Got it? Okay. I throw that in there. It gives it a blush of color and a hint of tomato flavor. Now, what I like to do is either take a couple of handfuls of cooked rice that I already have living in my refrigerator, easy peasy, tomato, sort of like a tomato rice soup, or I will make couscous in there. Okay. So let's say I have some leftover couscous. Personally, I prefer the smallest one. By the way, a lot of people don't know this. Couscous is not a grain. No, it is actually a very tiny form of semolina wheat pasta. Yes, it is. Couscous is pasta. I like the tiniest version. I think that's called Moroccan couscous. I'm not sure, but whatever it is delish. So I like to throw that in there. If I have some already cooked sliced carrot, I'll throw that in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I'll put some onion or onion powder, whatever you got. Throw in some garlic salt or garlic powder. A pinch of whatever you like, Italian seasoning or just oregano. You let that simmer a few minutes. I just named three completely different meals utilizing two tiny cans of tomato sauce. And you could get those cans of tomato sauce every now and again. This is why I encourage anyone who's beginning a stockpile. One of the things to add to your stockpile in your pantry, whenever those smaller cans go on sale, you could do so many things with it. Okay. Yum. On a different note, completely different meal. Once in a while, I like to make a pizza omelet. Okay, utilizing opening up, okay, that same little can of the tomato sauce. I don't need to use the whole can because, as I mentioned earlier, pizza, any sort of pizza, does not require a lot of sauce. And I could still utilize the other half of that can and come up with whatever creative thought or creative idea. Let's compare notes with pricing for a minute. I have seen, I'm not saying they're not delicious, I'm not saying they're not great. I have seen some amazing jarred tomato sauces going to the tune of over $6, close to $7 or even more. Okay. I'm not saying they're not delicious, but if you're looking to save money and to be a little bit creative, to make things more to your tasting, to your liking, discover what works for you. Now, if you have rice, cooked rice left over, and that's another trick I encourage, this form of food is such a budget stretcher. Make a little bit of rice ahead of time. Let's say you have time on the weekend. Put it away as a prep, okay, as a food prep. I mean, you could throw them in soups. You could throw those rice in stews. You could decide to make rice patties, fried rice patties, yum. A little bit of egg, Parmesan cheese, and breadcrumb, put it together, form it into the shape of a hamburger shape, and fry it with a little bit of oil in your skillet. Fry those up. Those are delish. You could take a handful of shredded mozzarella and throw that in the rice mixture too before you formulate your patty. I can't tell you how really good that is. Beyond delish. So you see, all it takes is a handful of common items that can really, really stretch a budget, make completely different meals that you'll never grow tired of. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe.